So, hello everybody. I know I haven't posted on this for a while. Nothing's really happened. I was waiting for something good to happen. Well, something has happened, and it's not something good. The Pittsburgh Penguins have decided to accept their White House invitation. They announced this on Sunday, the same day that Donald Trump went off on his NFL rant, the same day that the Golden State Warriors said as a team that they were not going. I think the first time that's happened, a team has declined since people started going to the White House. So it's a huge deal for them, and it's a bad choice for Pittsburgh. Now, why is it a bad choice? Well, normally it would be fine because even if you don't agree with someone's politics, you're going to go anyway because it's a quick meeting and they're a leader of a country, right? And they're usually a nice person. With Donald Trump, that is all out the window. By accepting Trump's invitation to the White House, Pittsburgh is basically giving a big FU to any one of their non-white fans, essentially. Because even though they're not actively doing this, that is what they're saying. Because they're going and they're willing to support such a racist, homophobic, xenophobic, what have you, bigot, they're supporting bigotry and hatred, which in my view is totally unacceptable. One of the worst things in life that you can be is be bigot. Someone who doesn't care about anyone but himself and his family, well, not even his wife, apparently. They're, by going to the White House and accepting the invitation, they are essentially condoning and supporting his behavior. Now, the Penguins are saying we're not trying to make a political statement. This is just about us celebrating our win. By not saying anything and by going, they're making it exactly a political statement. Because in a time like this, sports is more political than ever before. We have the whole kneeling for the anthem, which is a whole different issue. That's not even the reason why they're not even kneeling for the right reasons. But then we also have people not going to the White House because of the leader who's in charge. Ryan Reeves, who wasn't even on the Penguins when they won the Cup last year, said if he was invited, he would not go to the White House. He's a black man. The NHL has 30 black players in the whole league, and that is why there is this issue in the NHL. The NHL has always been a league of following, of standing by, not wanting to get in anyone's toes, lightly treading along. They have never been one to take a stand and never been one to fight up for what's right. The NBA has been doing this for years. We go back to last year with the I Can't Breathe t-shirts and Hands Up, Don't Shoot. The NFL, when Colin Kaepernick was kneeling for the anthem as a protest about racial inequality and violence in America when Obama was still president, okay? That has nothing even to do with Trump. And the NHL has done nothing. This is a league that won't even admit, despite growing evidence, that CTE is extremely prevalent in hockey. The NHL is doing nothing. And yes, it's not up to the players to decide, really make a statement. I mean, some of them would be nice if they did, but the guys at the top, the president, the owners, the CEO, they're all Democrats. Why are they going to support the worst and most horrific president of all time? One of the worst human beings on the face of the earth, who said on camera that he can get away with doing whatever he wants to women because he's Donald Trump, and it's just locker room talk. The team is run by Democrats who give money to the party. David Morehouse, who is the president, was a big supporter of Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton is the husband of Hillary, who lost to Donald Trump. He is supporting the man who said that they should lock up Bill Clinton's wife. Now, if that is not hypocrisy and just complete lunacy, I don't know what is. By Pittsburgh going, they are taking a stand because we are in a time of divisiveness right now. We're in a time of sports when people are kneeling for the national anthem. Some people are doing it for the wrong reasons, but nevertheless, people are kneeling. We're having these conversations. Thanks to Colin Kaepernick, this has started. Then Donald Trump's got his war in the NFL. Then we have Golden State, who says they're not going to the White House. And the same day, Pittsburgh says we're going to the White House. And they're saying, look, we're not using it for propaganda. We just want to focus on hockey. If they wanted to focus on hockey, they wouldn't go because they wouldn't keep getting asked, why are they going? They're getting eviscerated on Twitter. I bet you their inbox is blowing up with people asking, why are they going? Why are they going? Every single day, there's been a question. This is not focusing on hockey. This has now become a distraction to the team, and that is the fault of their own. They have made it a distraction. Donald Trump is using them as propaganda to promote his brand. Right after they had announced they were going, he wrote on Twitter, pleased to announce the Pittsburgh Penguins will be attending the White House. Great team, exclamation mark, as he always does. I bet you Donald Trump has not watched 1 second of hockey. He probably doesn't even know who Sidney Crosby is. But because the team is going and supporting him, it shows that they support his brand. They support what he believes in. And he's absolutely going to use this as propaganda. He's absolutely going to use this to continue his war on sports. And Pittsburgh is going to let that happen? They're going to let that happen. On a day when the Pittsburgh Steelers' entire team sat in the locker room during the anthem, the Penguins, in poor taste, announced that they were going to the White House. The same day that LeBron James called Donald Trump a bum, that Steph Curry uninvited himself from the White House. And Pittsburgh just does a complete 180. Goes totally backwards. The Penguins have an opportunity to make a difference. And the reason why I say that is because of who they have on the team, okay? They have, as their owner, one of the greatest players ever to play, Mario Lemieux, a guy who stood up and said, if concussions are going to continue to be part of the game and fighting, I don't want to be part of this league anymore. He was the one who agreed to let them go to the White House. He should say something. He's silent on this issue. Then we have Sidney Crosby, the captain, who supported the team's decision, who is the face of the league, the face of the game. He's the reason why Pittsburgh is in Pittsburgh. We hear about how great of a person he is. He has an opportunity to prove that, to speak up and say, I'm not going to the White House. I didn't agree with the decision. I can't idly buy and get a photo taken next to this man, because how's it going to reflect on me in 20 years, 30 years? When Donald Trump has completed his time as president, we look back and realize just how horrible he was if we haven't already realized it. How's this going to reflect on me? How's it going to reflect on my team, on the organization, on the league? You have an opportunity as the NHL's elite superstar to say something, to go off brand, to stir the pot, which he never does. And he just sits by and says nothing, says he agrees. And then we have Mike Sullivan, the head coach, who says it's unfair that Crosby's getting criticized. Are you kidding me? It's unfair? As I heard on the Steve Dangle podcast today, as they so eloquently put it, Crosby has FU money. He can do whatever he wants and say whatever he wants, within reason, obviously, because he has so much money. Who cares? He is using this in the worst way possible. He has such a huge following. Kids look up to him, okay? Little kids look up to Crosby. Can you imagine what a little kid is going to say when they see their idol and they see that he's supporting this big man in the White House with small hands and an orange face? What is the parent going to have to say to their child who idolizes Crosby? Are they going to talk about how great of a person he is? Or are they going to talk about how he's sitting silently by and basically supporting the bigotry and letting this happen? Chris Letang, who's another superstar, he's part of the core. He should be saying something. Evgeny Malkin, who's, he's Russian, and Putin and Trump don't exactly get along. He should be using his platform to say something. He, has been a bit more outspoken about Olympics and things like that. But he should be using his platform to say something. Someone in the team should say something. It shouldn't be Ryan Reeves, who's a new player, who wasn't even on the team. It should be someone who won the cup last year, who's been with the team, who takes a stand and says, I'm not going. No one in the NHL has done that except for Tim Thomas, who did not go to see Obama. The very few players that we're getting speaking up, the black players, there's only 30 of them in the league. Joel Ward said he would probably kneel for the anthem. JT Brown, who's highly involved, said he would kneel for the anthem, and he called that John Tortorella when John Tortorella said last year he would bench a player if they didn't kneel for the anthem. JT Brown has donated thousands of dollars to help Tampa during Hurricane Irma. Then we have Wayne Simmons, who seems like a stand-up guy who's been the target of many racial threats, along with Joel Ward, who says he would kneel for the anthem. Blake Wheeler, who has been great on this, who's white, has said he would do this as well. We're having a small group of guys kneeling for the anthem, and they understand why. They get why they are kneeling. They are protesting the divisiveness that is in the US right now and the racial divide and inequality that divides the country. Players like Austin Matthews, PK Subban, who is black, are saying that they would not kneel because they have too much respect for the flag. That is not what this is about. First of all, the White House and the flag are two completely different issues. Kneeling for the anthem has nothing to do with protesting the US or the flag itself. It's not disrespectful. It is protesting violence that has occurred in the US and not the country itself. So by players saying, I'm not going to kneel for the anthem, it's a sign of disrespect, they are not really paying attention to what really is going on. And as citizens, as idols, as people that kids look up to, people in the media, they are required to know what's happening. Maybe not a fringe player, but a superstar like Austin Matthews, like Sidney Crosby, like PK Subban. They should know what's happening and they should be taking a stand. And by not doing anything, it's just as bad as doing something. It's like when you watch a kid get bullied. You watch a kid get picked on, you watch him get picked on, or her. You don't do anything. You walk away. You're not the one carrying out the bullying, but you're watching it happen and you're not stopping it. That's exactly what's happening here. By the NHL not stepping up, and it's not just the Penguins' problem, but it's a league-wide problem, but the NHL not stepping up and not doing anything. They're letting this happen. They're basically saying F you to any minority that we've ever had. They just released a Declaration of Principles a month ago. That's out the window. They say hockey is for everyone. That is complete bullcrap. Hockey's never been for everyone. Hockey has always been for rich white kids or upper middle class white families who can afford to send their kids. There's a reason why we're seeing sons of NHL players being drafted now, because that's all who can afford to play. That's all who can afford to play hockey. Hockey is not for minorities. Hockey's for the dominant group. And everything the NHL has ever said, completely false, gone out the window. There's a reason why the NHL has never had an openly gay player or many black players, because players don't feel welcome to be different in the NHL. And that's not a Penguins problem. It's not just an NHL problem. It's a hockey culture problem, but it's a big problem. And Sidney Crosby right now is feeding into that big problem. Sidney Crosby is my favorite player ever. He's my idol. He's someone I've looked up to. The Penguins have been my team since 2005. And the NHL and hockey is my favorite sport. But I honestly don't know how much longer I can support a team or a league that condones this type of behavior. I'm never going to stop loving Crosby. He's always going to be my favorite player, and I'll probably continue to watch the Penguins. But I'm highly disappointed in him, and now, for me, his reputation as a person is tarnished. I've always heard how great of a person he is. For me, that's out the window. Judging him on this alone, I don't know if he's racist. I don't know if he's misogynistic, because he's not speaking up against it. And maybe that's unfair. I really don't think it is, because he's 30 and he's lived. To me, his reputation as a human being is tarnished. Kids that used to look up to him are now going to see him in a tainted viewpoint. They're now going to think it is okay to support Donald Trump because Crosby supports Donald Trump. To me, that's not okay. I'm just extremely disappointed in the team right now. And that's all I have to say. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.